What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode. In this little video, I'm going to go over a couple things that you need to do before every single tournament you fish. Let's go over it. Alright guys, so the number one thing is, if y'all are like me, I don't fish every single day of the week. Especially with school right now, I'm lucky if I get out there 2 times a week. So that means the rest of the time I'm not fishing, my rods are usually chilling in the garage or they're just left in my rod box because I'm too lazy to take them out. If you get line that's old, I'm not talking about like a year old, I'm talking about like 2 months old, 3 months old, especially fluorocarbon in general, I've learned. It can get real brittle, and the knots you tie with fluorocarbon, if you leave them there, they really cinch up, and if they expose it very well, easily to break. Fluorocarbon in particular, I've noticed that if I leave my rods in my rod locker and I go out to fish and I haven't gone fishing in a while, I can snap that fluorocarbon really easy. So the number one key is to cut everything. Retie every single bait you've got. And that's going to make sure that when you get that big fish on tournament day that eats that bait, you can set the hook and never have to worry about breaking. Now another really important thing is when you cut your line, to retie, always fill up your line about 3 to 5 feet. Because a lot of the time, especially around here, I'm a big dock fisherman. I love fishing docks. You can get little nicks in your line, just like I've got right here. And if you didn't feel that before a tournament or before a practice day or something like that, you're going to break it. So definitely make sure you feel up your line. You'll be able to feel all your frays and stuff like that, and just cut it off because it's worth cutting it. If you don't, make sure your line is free of frays. Things like this can happen. So probably my number one biggest pet peeve in bass fishing is when people don't fill up their bait cast reels all the way to the top. This is like my number one, because if you fill a reel halfway, or you're lazy and you just let it get all the way to halfway, you've lost a lot of things. First off, you've lost your actual gear ratio. So let's say, for instance, this is a 7.5 to 1 gear ratio reel. If I let my line get to halfway down the spool, it's basically turned into about a 6.4 to 1 gear ratio reel, and that's completely pointless. Especially since this is like my Texas rig and flipping reel, I want to be able to reel in as much line as I can every crank, and having your reel full will allow you to do that. The second negative thing that comes with not filling up your spool is really losing casting distance. Because when you throw it out there, usually if you've got half a spool, you're going to be near the end of your line. And that's really not what you want, guys. You want to be able to make the longest cast you can make, especially in tournament situations. You want to be completely ready. You want to control every aspect you can control, because there are a lot of things you can't control. So as long as you are controlling what you can control, then you're doing everything you can. And that's what it comes down to. So make sure you fill your spools all the way. I'd say leave about, shoot, 1/8 of an inch. I mean, mine are almost ridiculously full. That'll help you on tournament day, I promise. Another big thing is when you leave your rod in your rod box, like I do a lot of the times, I've noticed if I leave them in there for a week or so and then I go out to fish, some of my hooks are they're really just starting to rust. And I'm sure that happens with a lot of boats that are kept outside and stuff like that. You've got to pay attention to that, because that can come into play, especially on crankbaits. Those things can rust in a matter of days. So definitely go through all your crankbaits and stuff like that and make sure none of them have any rust on them. Because rust, one, it dulls the hook. And another thing, it'll really rust out the actual barb on there. So the barb is not going to be near as sharp, and it's not going to be able to hold on to those fish like you want it to do. Alright guys, so I hope y'all enjoyed the video. The reason I'm doing the tournament prep video tonight is because me and Jacob here, dirty socks will smell terrible. Got the first tournament of the year coming up Saturday. Tomorrow we're going to get a chance to go down there and pre-fish. we're going to take y'all along with us, and we hope y'all enjoy, and make sure you wish us good luck.